This is the Backrooms, 600 million square miles of empty rooms that stretch in every direction, with nothing alive inside and no clear way back to the world you came from. And without anyone planning it, millions of strangers online decided this place is real. In May 2019, an anonymous user posted a grainy photo of an empty yellow hallway on an internet forum. They left it unassigned, gave it no explanation, and never came back to follow up, just the image. 6 years later, that single photo has become one of the largest collaborative horror projects ever made. It generated billions of views, hundreds of fan-made levels, dedicated wikis, and an entire community of creators who treat it like real folklore. And here's where it gets strange. The person who took the original photo has never come forward. To this day, the internet still doesn't know who they are. Let me walk you through how a forgotten image became a place millions of people believe in. The original post was simple: a photo of an office hallway with a strange caption underneath it. If you clip out of reality in the wrong spot, you end up here. 600 million square miles of empty rooms forever. That was the entire post. What surprised everyone is that the post didn't go viral immediately. It sat quietly for weeks before anyone really noticed it. People would come across it, screenshot it, and quietly share it in private chats. Not because it was scary in the typical way, but because it reminded them of somewhere they had actually been. That feeling of recognition is what eventually spread the image, and it's worth understanding why. Let me explain this. The Backrooms doesn't scare you with a threat. It scares you with familiarity. The image triggers a memory you didn't realize was stored somewhere in your head. Think about the back stairwell of an old school after everyone's gone home, the hallway of a hotel at 3 a.m., the waiting room of a hospital at night, a shopping mall 30 minutes after closing. Most people have stood in places like these and felt something they couldn't quite put a finger on. The silence pressing in, the lighting feeling slightly wrong, the emptiness sitting heavier than it should. Psychologists actually have a name for these environments. They call them liminal spaces. Places built for passing through, not for staying in. When you're stuck inside one, your brain starts looking for the people and the movement it expects. And when none of that shows up, it starts treating the space as wrong. So here's the takeaway. The Backrooms didn't create a new fear. It pointed at the fear that was already there and gave people a way to talk about it. Once people had a name for the feeling, creators ran with it. The original photo showed a single hallway. Within months, fans had added new locations, flooded basements, identical office floors that loop forever, abandoned warehouses, a quiet suburban neighborhood at night with no residents. They organized everything into a numbered system. Level 0 became the original yellow hallway. Level 1 was dimmer warehouses. Level 94 was the eerie neighborhood. By 2024, there were over 300 documented levels, each with its own rules: what to avoid, how to escape, what entities lived inside. And here's the part that makes this whole thing wild. There was no official version of any of it. Nobody caught bait, and the entire thing operated without leadership. Thousands of strangers were contributing to shared wikis, making videos, and some were agreeing on the details without ever meeting each other. To give you a sense of scale, by 2025, videos with Backrooms in the title pulled in over 2 billion views in 8 months. For context, that's more views than the entire population of China. And the strangest part is that no single person actually built it. The Backrooms became one of the largest fictional worlds ever built. For the first 3 years, the Backrooms existed mostly as text and still images. You would read about it, look at the original photo, maybe imagine it in your head. The whole thing was an idea, not an experience. Then everything changed when creators started building the Backrooms in 3D software like Blender. Here's why that mattered. Anyone with a laptop could now construct a hallway, light it with the flickering fluorescence, and drag a shaky camera through it like found footage. A single person could pull it off in an afternoon, like how I'm doing it in this video. Just a heads up, all the visuals that I've created created in this video was done by me through using Blender. This is why I'm saying a single person could pull it off in the afternoon, and suddenly the Backrooms wasn't a concept anymore. It was footage, the kind of grainy, jittery clip that looked less like animation and more like a security camera recording someone forgot to delete. That's the moment the idea stopped behaving like fiction. Viewers started leaving comments saying things like, "This feels like a place I have actually been." When that started happening, the line between a story and evidence quietly disappeared. There is one detail in this whole story that I keep coming back to. The original photo that started the entire phenomenon was posted anonymously, and the person behind it has never identified themselves. They have avoided every interview opportunity and never once stepped forward to claim credit. The most influential horror image of the decade was created by someone whose name the internet still doesn't know. 6 years have passed, billions of views have accumulated, an entire online universe has grown out of it. Yet somewhere out there, the founder is still a complete stranger. Here's what I think the real story is. The scariest part of the Backrooms isn't that the place exists, because it doesn't. The scariest part is that the millions of people working independently across years and continents imagined it in such detail that they made it feel real. The internet built a location that doesn't exist and then convinced itself it does. So let me ask you this. If you lead past a fabricated wall and ended up in the Backrooms, what would you actually do?